What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Renegade Pop Culture Mental Health Checkup. I apologize that it has been a while since our last one, but we had to end Mental Health Awareness Month with the original crew, which is myself, Mike. Joining me is our fearless leader, Keona.
Hello, everybody.
We've got the streaming demon himself, Jacob,
What's up, y'all?
and we have Josh and Kristal.
Woo!
Now, to start things off, I have to officially on air congratulate you two for your engagement.
Yes.
I think we've mentioned it a couple times before, but
This
it's
feels.
still crazy.
Plus, I think this is the more appropriate avenue, other than the Mortal Kombat episode.
Of course.
I mean, well, a lot of people say that marriage is a form of Mortal Kombat.
Oh my god! If we're going with the stories that Kristal told me, you have no idea how true that is.
Oh my god, Josh, that's evil.
I'm not gonna talk about that here. Maybe in a free for all.
Let's just say I'm way too into true crime, and insides became outsides.
I suddenly just imagine like Josh just one day just going like, "Get over here!"
That's
Still just jumping up and doing like a bicycle kick and just going like,
And ripping her heart out, like literally ripping her heart out.
You have no idea how close you are. Like a real life case.
"Oh no." No. Let's not cast aspersions on the sacred institution of matrimony.
Indeed.
Yeah,
It is
let's.
for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know I'm Mr. Dark Humor guy, so. But yeah, Mike, where do you want us to go here? Where do you want to take us to begin?
Well, first of all, since we are in the halfway point or nearing the halfway point of the year, I just want to check in with you guys, see how you're doing. How have you been maintaining your mental health, if at all? Keona, why don't we start with you?
Oh, yay, fun. Okay. Well, it hasn't been going very well lately. I can say that much. I think I'm just feeling like really like, man, it's been a rough week. It's just been a lot of like, mental anguish and like, financial things and stuff like that. Like we're my family and my parents and I are in a pretty decent shape. Like we're not like suffering or anything, but it's just, I'm getting to the point where I'm like starting to get worried about it. And like, it's like it's tough. It's just tough all around. And but I know that we're in better shape than some people who have lost their homes and lost their jobs over the course of this freaking weird ass year that we just had. And it's just been horrible for a lot of people, and I understand that. And I hope that like, I hope that not to get political, but I hope that people in our government like just take the stick that's been shoved up their asses and take it out, because like so many people are suffering and we're sitting here talking about election fraud still when it's been like months since it's done. Like everybody just needs to like shut up about it and like move on with your life.
Yeah.
Because we keep arguing about these things that really are meaningless. At the bottom line, it's meaningless. People are suffering, people are losing their jobs, people are dying, and yet we have a government that's just sitting there and not doing anything about it. And to me, that's just disgusting and sickening. So anyway, that's my political rant. But like, I just think that yeah, for me personally, it's just been like really busy, and it's been like, I God knows that I love this podcast, and that all of us here created this podcast, and along with Cameron and along with Brock and everybody too. But like without this core group, I feel like we would have probably stopped a long time ago. I know I would have. And I feel like I just am I'm a little bit collapsing under the pressure nowadays, because I feel like I just have so much going on and so much like to do. And like the video game show is kind of it's kind of like the show that I spearhead. So for me, we're moving into the month of June, which is E3 Summer Games Fest. It's like everything is hitting all at once, and I felt that so heavily on Thursday that it was just like, it was very rough for me to prep. And it was very rough to to deal with everything that's going on, because not just this, but also family stuff and like my dad's health and like my mom's health and like my aunt's health. So it's been a rough one. It hasn't been easy for me this month, and I know that like compared to everybody else, I probably had it fucking easy. But like,
Nah,
When
mine
you-
was a lot easier than yours was, Keona.
well, I mean, it's just that like, I don't mean to compare myself or anything, but I just think that like, it's just been it's been really hard. Like it's this year started off really well, and now it's just like, you're in the doldrums of it. I feel like, so it's kind of tough. But at the same time, we just keep going and just lift each other up and help each other out when we can. So
Yeah, well, what kind of group would we be if we didn't?
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
So anyway, guys, but I appreciate you guys, of course. It's not like I don't mean to, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus with that comment or anything. I just feel like,
Oh,
No,
dude.
no. We understand
Dude.
totally.
and
yeah,
understand that everything you're feeling is totally valid. Like,
yeah,
the one thing that I think a lot of people, and I'll admit myself included, we don't talk about this stuff a lot just because we just think, well, we don't want to burden anybody with our stuff because, it's probably not as bad as what everybody else is going through. But no, I totally understand.
Mhm.
Believe me, I've been in your shoes, and I'm to an extent, I kind of am too, like right now. So you always talk to me about it. I always try to hit you up, just make sure you're doing okay and everything, because
Same here, man. Same here. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, guys, if I haven't been there for you guys lately. It's just been really rough.
Don't worry.
Jack, cállate, güey.
That's the down south hospitality of Latinos.
All right, who's next?
Jacob, you want to go next?
Sure. No, this year was all right. I did. I was in a similar state as you were, Keona, a couple months ago. I did have meltdowns. I had my fair share of just mental breakdowns. Because partially I think it was because of social media. All right, I was tired of comparing myself to other people. I think that was that's why most people want to break free from that, right? Like, do you guys ever wish that you could break free of that stuff?
Yes.
A lot of times, yeah.
Right, well, it got to the point where I actually deleted my Facebook account for about a month.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I was at the tail end of it too before I decided I wanted to come back because I miss what my friends are up to. And I'm kind of torn about me coming back because a part of me does feel a little. I thought I was determined. Like I thought I had decided it was final that I would give up on that and just focus on the podcast and not get too caught up what other people were doing. But yeah, I did feel a little weak that I came back or something. Like I wasn't as principled as I probably should have been.
I mean,
know,
there's nothing wrong with feeling that way, or something that I do whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed by the constant doom scrolling on Twitter, or spending too much time on social media. I just take a break every once in a while, watch a movie, watch cartoons or something to just keep my mind away from all the noise, if that makes any sense.
Oh, that makes total sense. Yeah, I guess I did feel proud for myself initially when I quit Facebook. I did feel proud of myself, which is why I felt so down when I came back. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. But I just kind of realized that I can't depart from my friends for that long because when it was just I had my own Facebook account called Streamin' Demon, all right, and as it went along, it felt kind of weird, calling my own Facebook account that, that's not a proper name, Streamin' Demon. It says when it has like that message, that post thing on the top, it says streaming, what's on your mind? And it just felt a little, I don't know, like I don't think another person had an account just for a persona, for an online, unless it was like a business page or something. But yeah, it just didn't feel really right because I would just, and another thing is I was limited to the guys I knew from the podcast, which meant I was looking at the same posts over and over and over again. Right, there was very little variety in terms of posts And then I realized that it really didn't make any sense for me to even have a Facebook account if I was going to lose all of my other friends, you know?
Yeah, that's honestly one of the reasons why I haven't deactivated any of my accounts.
And you didn't start your own for the podcast?
No, I just kept everything as it is.
That's the primary reason. Yeah, because why be on Facebook if you're not going to make friends? Like, because you guys are my friends, don't get me wrong, but it's mostly for biz. Like, I know how this sounds, but it's part like I didn't know you guys since high school, for instance.
Right.
No, we get that.
I've known most of you for like about a year, like 3 years at most.
Yeah, I was gonna say you and I go back at least to 2017, maybe 2018.
Or I think 2000. Well, we were friends in 2015, I believe. Even then, like we met through the Mr. Coates Facebook group.
Yeah, no. So you and I probably go back. Well, I'd say Keona and Josh are like those two come first, then you, then the rest.
Well, but where's Cameron?
Cameron, he and I really hit it off in like 2016.
Okay.
Brock and Keona, I think out of all of us, Brock and Keona were like my first internet friends of this
we were
group.
kind of friends, though, I think in a kind of broad way because we mainly just talked about movies. We didn't really talk about personal stuff. Like same with Cameron. Okay, when we talked, it was mostly just about the latest animation news. Like it's I wasn't we weren't as close as we are now. With this podcast thing.
Yeah, that's fair, and I really do think that this podcast has brought all of us closer together.
And
Absolutely.
on top of that, also understand, just the black hole that social media can feed into. I mean, I'm stuck in the Twitter black hole. I hate it, honestly, but at the same time, I know so many wonderful people from Twitter that I've made friends with. And when I see like how hyperbolic and like quite frankly, in my opinion, just how toxic and overly sensitive the general public can be on Twitter because people like there's a lot of negativity and cynicism and toxicity that just somehow gets trending. But at the same time, I think about the friends that I've made on there, and I think about the friends that I've made on Facebook through you guys, and it's a very hard thing to say goodbye to. And I think it really helps to just clear your head and step away from it for a
Just
little
log off for a little bit.
And I think you did a good thing in general, Jacob, because just kind of being behind, the app for a little bit, it can kind of just feel maddening. And
yeah,
I almost wondered like if it also gets to you, Keona, because I mean you have to post as the site.
Yeah, it's been rough, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's been really like killing me right now too is like the show notes. The show notes have been killing me. Like having to, especially for arcade, because with arcade I don't have much to lean on, so it's like it's gotta like I have to write something about it. And that is like, even though I love writing about games and stuff, I really do. But the thing is, my mind is so fried that like I just wonder, like, okay, maybe I should just copy paste like the company's little like their PR stuff, because it's like their press releases, because I have no energy to like write things anymore, and it sucks because I love writing, but like at the same time I'm just like, man, I'm so tired. Like today for instance, before we did this thing, I was watching Mars Attacks and I just fell asleep. Just napped right through the movie. It's just like crazy. I mean, and I like that movie. I love that movie, but it's like I just couldn't stay up.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything
about social media. I'm if it gets too hectic, I'm just gonna deactivate it. Like it's temporary when it's deactivated, but when you delete it, there's like a 30-day delay before it officially gets deleted.
I deleted my original Facebook. I had to re-add everybody.
But another thing that was kind of burdensome. Well, Kim, her college year was coming to a close, and she was having computer problems. Okay, and when we did our usual Sunday, our video chats, she was crying.
Oh,
and I had to watch that.
Oh, no.
Ooh, that sounds rough.
It was rough. It was all figured out. It was fine, but that was kind of I was just kind of worried that she would do something that she regretted because of that.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a really difficult thing watching someone that you care about so deeply in pain like that.
Yeah.
You just
I know
wonder,
you guys have.
yeah, like how can I help? How can I fix this? But sometimes you just have to realize that you can't fix it.
Yeah, you just feel powerless sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes just being there is enough or all that you can do.
Mm-hmm. Josh, do you and Kristal want to go next?
You go first.
Me, okay. I kind of feel what Keona means. Like the start of the year was, it just kind of felt like on all cylinders. But like for us, it was quite literally the start of the year. We felt really, really good, and then everything just kind of like.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I get into it?
No.
So I haven't really talked about it like publicly. I've talked about it privately with you, I think with some of you guys, but so I think we've talked about it on the podcast that Kristal's dad.
Well, my family in general is crackheads.
Not like literally
Not
they're
in the
smoking
literal
crack,
sense,
but
like-
you know.
I figured.
They're all crazy.
And I think we've talked about his health in the past, that he's got this rare blood disease called
Autoimmune disease.
called scleroderma.
Mm.
Incredibly rare. It
Even more rare in men.
even more rare in men, and it's usually a best case scenario of like 20-30 years and a worst case scenario of like a year. And all of last year when we were living with Kristal, when I was living with Kristal's dad with her, his health was fluctuating like crazy, and he had a lot of episodes, and he was quite frankly, he was just becoming incredibly unruly. And there were times where we felt so guilty about needing to step away because it was driving us absolutely insane. There, not only that, but he's got a lot of substance abuse problems, in particular with alcohol. I know I'm not helping by drinking this moonshine, but the thing that sticks out to me off the top of my head, he would drink a pint of vodka a night to go to sleep. And he just kind of treated it as normal. And he had a really bad bender, and we were trying to get him to sober up, just to sober up for the life of him. And we had taken away his car keys, we had taken away his phone,
Cash, credit
his
card,
cash,
card
credit
keys,
cards,
wallet, everything.
and we're trying to go to sleep, and then
we
we
even took his keys.
and we get a call at 2 a.m, and he's outside. He had walked to Circle K with a coffee can full of change, and he went to go buy 3 triple packs of the hurricane beers. They're like the high gravity things. They're tall boys, about as tall as his IT. And I've tasted them myself. They taste like jet fuel. It's like 8 proof or 8%, and it's strong. Its sole purpose is to get you fucked up. And he took an oxygen tank because he needed oxygen because of his thing. And he walked over there and he collapsed. He fell. And he needed us to pick him up. And then another time, he was still getting drunk. He was still acting crazy. And we knew when he was drunk and when he was sober. We walked in there and he's trying to be all apologetic, but then there's a point we're just not buying it, and we're trying to look for his stash of money and his alcohol. And immediately, even though he's drunk, he just suddenly starts saying, "You're not going to find it. You're not going to find it, guys. I'm too clever." We found it like that. So that's the setup. Then there's January 6th, I believe. We had a lot of issues already, which I won't get into, just out of the slightest modicum of respect. That's probably still there, but it's more out of the wishes of Kristal that I don't talk about it. But we had an altercation like a few days prior involving a close family friend, or not a close family friend, but a new family friend. We found out some stuff. And Chris was just going off. It was just like, "I fucking told you, don't ever distrust me. Okay, I know what I'm saying. I'm trying to be safe." With that other day when I had like a major meltdown, I was faking it the whole time when my dad was there and all that, because he was going off and just acting crazy. And he said some really hurtful things to me. And I just kind of snapped, and I thought to myself, okay, if he really faked it, which I highly doubt, but if he believes that he faked it, that means that everything that he said about me and Kristal was intentional. And I'm not about to stand for that. And I remember Kristal's grandpa told me, just get some money, stay here if it's convenient, earn some money. Don't think of him as a anybody anymore. Just think of him as a patient. Just get your shit, get some money, and then get the fuck out whenever you can.
That's my grandfather saying that. My dad's father.
That he didn't care about his son anymore. What he cared about was making sure we were okay. So I did something I never thought I would do, and I got my old job back at Lube and Go. It's a car place. If you're in El Paso, come by, seriously. But it was my first day there, and Kristal was supposed to start a new job. She was going to be a healthcare worker for her dad. And all day long, I was getting messages and calls from Kristal. She was crying. She was absolutely bawling her eyes out. And I didn't find out until when I got home that, or I think you mentioned it throughout the day, but the job for the healthcare worker kind of fell through because it was going to be twofold. She would take care of her dad as the healthcare worker, and then she would go to an office and she would do clerical work. But when she got to the office, it turns out the owner of the business hired somebody for that clerical job over everybody's head. So Kristal was effectively like made redundant for that particular thing, but she could do the healthcare work, but that amounted to 2 hours a day.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
About 16 hours a week.
Which is nothing.
It's about $100 a week.
And Kristal's dad got so upset. How he explained it, he was so upset for her, and he felt like she wasn't upset enough about how everything went bad. So he insisted that she print up her resume, and they went around town trying to get her applied. But the thing is, most of the jobs now, like around town, anywhere, they won't take in-person applications or interviews because, there's the big C going around, especially in January. So it was made even more redundant, and Kristal was just absolutely losing it because her dad was just saying so many disrespectful things, and he was just so angry. There was a point where he was literally speeding down red lights, and she was in the car. She was trying to get him to calm the hell down, and he said something about him being so disappointed in her. And I got back home, and I wanted to hear his side of the story I wanted to hear his side of the story solely, and I didn't tell him anything. I didn't tell him I heard Kristal's side. I'm cutting it very short just because I know it's probably running too long, but I went in there, and he'd already had a habit of forgetting stuff that he said, so I decided to record myself. I decided to record it privately, so if anything slipped up, he could explain. Like, he would be like, all right, well, I don't remember that. Well, I have it right here. And how he told it, it was like I said, he said that he felt more upset for her than her about how everything went bad, and that he may have said some things that hurt her. But in his words, the reason why it may have hurt her is because she believes that it's true, calling her a disappointment and all that stuff. He went on, and at the end of everything, I finally told him, look, I want you to know that I had actually talked to Kristal, and that's absolutely ridiculous that you said that. You don't ever get to talk to her like that. And he just wasn't backing down. And he had mentioned something about that close family friend, or that new family friend that we had. Like I said, I'm really condensing everything down, but what he had said made me lose all the respect that I had for him, that I decided to tell him the reason why I wanted to go back to Lube and Go, which was everything that I just told you guys about the, what his father said, and I told myself,
Saving up and getting the hell out of there.
And the whole time I've been trying to get a work from home job just to keep him safe, because if he gets COVID, it's a death sentence. But I told myself, you know what? looking for a work from home job isn't getting me anywhere. I'm going to go back. I'm going to get my old job. I need to get money now. You know, if I get COVID, I get COVID, but fuck it. I can't sit here like this. This is a matter of survival. I need money now. And I started telling him all that. And how he interpreted it was that I wanted to murder him by intentionally going out to give him COVID, because I had mentioned that my manager at my old location had actually been out of commission for months because he had caught COVID. Of course, he told me this right as I walked in, and after I shook his hand, I just said that jokingly just to break the ice. But that's what he had twisted it. And then he left because, I'll admit, before I had mentioned that, I said, man, don't I feel like an asshole? And then I went over to Kristal after he left, and I asked her, you know, because I actually did feel a little bad. Like, was I in the wrong? Did I fuck up? I don't remember what I said, but I said something along those lines, and I told you everything. And then he comes in hours later and snatches the phone from Kristal's hand while he's on the phone with his aunt.
I think so.
And
mind you, he takes my phone even though I'm paying for my own phone bill.
And then he starts going off, and his aunt starts asking why I want to murder him and that I should never say anything like that to anybody. And I'm trying to tell her what had happened, but she's not listening to me because obviously she heard his side first. And she's closer with him than me. Sherry has a bad impression with me just because of stuff that he said about me in the past. So I know there's no convincing. And then it gets to a point where everything just starts going off the rails and he's getting very confrontational, and he just starts saying so much stuff, so many things. And the point where I snapped, where I realized I wasn't getting anywhere, it was when he was trying to cut down on my writing, which was, I started taking Kristal to church because it was helping her. She's a born again Christian right now, and I understand that's not for everybody, but you know, people find comfort in religion. It helps them. For some, it's not for some people, but for some, it genuinely helps. And I told Chris and I told Kristal that writing genuinely helps me, and going to church with her helped me get back in touch with my writing. And he made a remark about me sitting on my ass typing all day, doing shit jobs at the chores and everything, barely washing the dishes and all this stuff, that I just said fuck it, and I started packing my stuff. And I left that night. I had almost left another time when things got really bad too, but I didn't. And that night I did. And I remember Kristal was crying while talking with me because it was so hard. And I went to my folks' house. They offered to let me stay there for a while. And that night, as I was explaining everything to him, because I was starting to feel bad, I was starting to think maybe I should apologize. We can work this out, maybe. And then her dad sent me a message as I was talking to them saying, you know, I can take the stuff that you said about me, but I think it's really unfair and selfish what you did to Kristal. I would die for my woman. I think what you did was very selfish. All she wanted to do was be on the phone with you while you were on your way back, and you couldn't even do that. And now you have to live with that or something like that. I don't have the exact message pulled up, and quite frankly, I don't want to at this point. I've said the story quite a few times to friends, so understandably, I'm really tired about it. So I stayed with them for months, and eventually Kristal came with me. It was a slow process, but she came with me because it was just so hard on her to be with him. Because even though she was only supposed to work with him for like a couple hours to clean and everything, he would not let up. He acted like a dictator around her and said at some points, and I'm sorry if this is upsetting you, like reliving everything. I think at one point he even threatened to call her work that she's not doing the stuff properly, like up to his standards. And he said at one point, during those 2 hours, I'm not going to think of you as my daughter, but as my employee. Am I right about that? And eventually I just told her, look, just come over, just please. And it's the only time I ever begged her to get the fuck out of there. Like, I begged her a couple of times, but it was the first time that I was serious about it. And then eventually we saved up some money. Thank God for the stimulus checks, because I swear to God, if it wasn't for that, we would have been fucked and I would have still been at my mom's. And now we're here. And I'll admit, I'm still kind of wrestling with some other stuff too, because I'll admit I haven't been as hands-on with the podcasts and everything lately because, with everything going on with Kristal's father, I had to step away from my YouTube for a while. And I wanted to get back to doing something that I love, something that makes me happy. And I had promised to do a Kevin Smith video a long time ago. And I'm still trying to edit it. I have like 15 minutes fully edited, but in doing everything, I also started falling down another rabbit hole of getting other stuff done. In fact, a big collaboration that I have in mind with Gwendolyn is going to be pushed back to September at the latest, August at the earliest. And there were two things that happened. One, I won't get into it, but I kind of ended up potentially losing a very beautiful friendship with somebody. I've talked with Keona about this in the past, and again, I won't get into specifics just because out of respect. It was a very, very rough thing to have happen, because I've lost friends in the past, like through nomenclature stuff, through drama, through family and everything. And I still remember all the names, all the people that I've lost, even if they've probably forgotten about me, I still have a record in my head. And then the other thing, one of the videos I started doing, and if it's okay, Chris, I'll talk about it just a tiny bit. I started doing a video on the old production company that I was a part of. I won't say their names, at least not yet, because it's still too early to even talk about the broader strokes of it. But I was with a production company and we had done a lot of movies together. I helped out with them, and I had been with them ever since I got out of high school. And in doing this video, I started to realize, because I got screwed over like really bad while being with them. I was just, you kind of look through those things through rose-colored glasses, just like in the BoJack Horseman episode, when you're looking at life through rose-colored glasses, all the red flags just look like flags. And I was so happy, I was so excited to be with them, but their philosophies and their attitudes towards their own movies just really didn't sit well with me, on top of how they would talk about local talent, like punching down so that way they could build themselves up. And I'll admit, we had a fun time the other day because we invited a bunch of friends over, as well as people that were with them. And we started doing this thing for the video. I'm structuring it a little bit like a best of the worst video from Red Letter Media. And we started watching the movies, and we made this drinking game. And we're going to continue it next Sunday with another edition where we have a little mason jar of moonshine. It's like a triple shot. And it's going to be this, you take this when you reach your tipping point with the company as well as the films. If there's something in there that's so irredeemable, you just need to take it to forget about it. Like it sounds mean-spirited in theory, and I know it does, but it was fun, and it was so joyous to be with everybody and roast this stuff, even my own work, because one of the movies was one that I directed. And I'm able to punch down at myself too. I think I've grown as an artist. I can look back at that and be like, I could have done that better.
But these guys, they're very much known for punching down. So I feel like it's justified to start punching up.
And especially when they got such a big presence in town, or at least they present themselves as having such a big presence in their town. Yeah. And what spurred this on, I found out that they do an interview. They do interviews for their podcast. And one of the interviews that they did, and it just really disgusted me, because I'm thinking, you're so desperate to be in with the Hollywood elites, that you're gonna give a platform to a director who's been Me Too'd. It was a Brett Ratner.
Oh.
Which, granted, from what I haven't read everything, but I have read enough. He's not Roman Polanski, both talent-wise as well as, reputation-wise. He's not Bryan Singer. He's not Harvey Weinstein. He's not Louis C.K. or Woody Allen, but Brett Ratner is still a piece of shit. And the fact that you interviewed him for over an hour, basically sucking him off, being like, so how do you do this and how do you do that? And just completely ignoring the elephant in the room for most of it. It just really says a lot about their character. And that's what really started this, as well as my own experience. But in doing all this, I never really took to account of how I had been affected and how this was kind of, I'll admit, there was a point this past week where it kind of hit a fever point and I was just really angry. And I was just, in all my videos, I try to go into the art, like the artist, because I personally believe separating the art from the artist is a very narrow-minded way of criticism, especially analysis. And that if you dive into a person's intentions, you're going to find a lot more meaningful conversation. And they have the podcasts where for the first 20 or so episodes, they basically went into their mindset for these movies. So I started making notes. I still have the notes extensively. And I got to the episode of the podcast where they talked about a movie that I wrote. It was for a 2-day film festival. And we had a premiere at the El Paso Plaza Theater. It's basically the Chinese theater of El Paso. And I'm sorry this is taking too long. I'm really sorry, guys. But
You're fine.
When we got there, I hadn't seen the final movie. A friend of mine, Luis Moreno Ramirez, he shot the movie and co-edited it. So I had seen frames, stills of the movie, but I hadn't seen the full movie. And I was just so jazzed. I'm there with the cast and with most of the crew. The director was out of town because he had booked a family vacation months before the date was announced. And I'm sitting there and I'm seeing everybody's films, and some are good, some are not so good, but I'm still like, man, this is so insane. Our movies are being seen in the Plaza Theater, and my movie's going to be seen soon. So I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. And the movie comes up, and my heart sank to the floor, because when you're a writer, all your ideas are never going to come out 100%. I think any writer can attest to that, especially if they hand their work off to somebody else to fully realize. You think of Kaufman, you think of Sorkin, Tarantino, And I was triggered by recounting this because they were talking about the premiere, and I thought back to all the old memories that I had and how happy I was initially, and when the movie happened, my heart sank. But everybody, the crew, were enthusiastic for some reason. The actors were just delighted to see themselves on the screen. And I just thought to myself when the movie ended, I hope to God this doesn't win anything. Because if this wins like first prize, what does that say about El Paso? And what does that say about me? Now, granted, I didn't participate in the shooting. I just wrote the script. I wrote it for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. I wrote it for 8 hours straight after we got the prompt from the location. And I didn't want to be around for the shooting because of my own personal problems on set with another movie that I wrote, that I told them I had a family thing I had to do, but in actuality, I just wanted to go to a friend of mine's party, like his birthday party. So I'm there and I'm just like, I hope we don't win. I hope we don't win. And of course we don't win third, second, or first prize. But then they called out the audience award and we won. And I had this mix of emotions. I had a little bit of time processing it because I was like, this isn't a good representation of my writing or anything, especially in the execution. But at the same time, if the people in the audience remembered my movie, if they liked it, if they enjoyed it enough to want to see it, like vote for it, that's fucking magical. And I remember the cast in particular, everybody was excited, and all the actors, their name, Alexis, Eric, Paola, Alfredo, they were just they said, they turned to me, and then they said, go up, say something, do a speech, because they were calling us up to the center stage. And I was just, my mind was racing. I was just like, oh my God, this is gonna be amazing. And I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna keep it short, but I have a lot to say about El Paso film and just in general, the passion of filmmaking and just all these beautiful people, because even though I had my problems with the main management of the production company, I was just so, it takes a village to make a movie, and I wanted to show like just the positivity and just how you're nothing without a good support system, and they're so great and everything. And I was gonna shout out the town, and I was gonna talk about this, and I go up there and I'm about to reach for the mic, and then the main producer grabbed the mic and started giving the speech. And I don't know if it's recorded, but at the time I was bigger. I had a long hair and I was wearing a suit and I had a hat with me. And if you look on the video, if I'm ever able to find it, you can see me going like I'm kind of beating the hat against me, because I'm thinking, can you please pass me the mic? Can you hand it to me? I have some stuff I want to say. And I don't remember what he said in the speech, but he shouted out the cast and the crew. And I think he briefly mentioned me as a writer. And then that was it. And we took pictures, and you can find pictures of me in the with the plaque and everything for the audience award. But even though I'm smiling, I had this sadness, and I just felt my heart broken that I had all these thoughts racing in my head, just how I can be the best representation, not just of the production company, but also of the film scene in El Paso. And I remember at the time when I talked to Kristal about this, I was really down after the movie, after the festival. And I remember they chalked it up to me just being sad because, I was disappointed in how the movie turned out, which I was, but it ran so much deeper than that. And I realized this video that I'm doing is just as much about me warning aspiring filmmakers that something like this isn't just exclusive in like the big studios and all that. It's not just a Zack Snyder and Ray Fisher with Warner Brothers. It can happen in your hometown with people that are ambitious enough to want to make a name for themselves, that they can swoop up talent just as easily and just discard them or just take advantage of them or just break them. And it's just as much about that. And it very much is about that, but it's also about me accepting what had happened to me and the fact that I hadn't I hadn't really healthily processed what I went through and all the underlying feelings that I had, and just accepting that they were basically using me from the beginning, even if they didn't mean to, even if their intentions were good. What is it that Ned Flanders says to Marge? Well, I can't live on good intentions,
Marge.
Like,
all your family's poor, but we can't blame you because you have good intentions.
Like, even if the intentions are good, just I can't. I have to be able to confront it and be able to actually process it. And this video is very much therapy for me. And I'm a little bit excited and nervous when it comes out, because I feel like it's going to be one of my more emotionally raw and naked videos I'll ever do. And I've talked with some of my actors that I've worked with. I said, hey, I'm going to be talking about this. I don't want you to get the feeling like I'm insulting you. I'm going to try and go into it with an open mind. I'm going to be critical of everybody, but as a performance, like with the performances of the movies and everything. And they said, no, go ahead. You believe me, we know we could have done better. No worries. Like, we've moved past those performances and we can see that. And we know, oh yeah, we're better now. And that's basically it.
Yeah.
I am so sorry that went on for so long.
That's all right.
Dude, you're the guy. You're the stars of this one. Okay, we're doing this mainly for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel bad.
That was a lot, man. That's like a lot that you went through and a lot that you felt. So yeah, good that you can kind of vent at least. Hopefully that helps a little bit.
And
Yeah.
I'm also sorry
And
that
if
I
it helps you
haven't-
just a little bit, that makes this podcast worth it.
Yeah, of
Exactly.
course. Yeah.
and I'm also sorry that I haven't been on the podcast a lot because
Dude, no.
work has been stressful because we lost a guy and then we got a guy, and this guy he said that he was only there for 5 weeks. And it's like, why would you hire somebody that's only going to be here for 5 weeks at a full-time thing? And he's like, no, the corporate knows it's all good. And he obviously had some issues, and but at the same time, like he was just making a lot of enemies, and on top of that, he was really bringing us down. Like we got complaints about him, and finally they talked to him with corporate. Like they talked about it with corporate. Like, why should bring a guy on that would only be here for 5 weeks? And they said, well, we never would have hired him. He never said anything like that. So he's out now.
Yep.
But it's just been all of that, just building up work and
Yeah.
friend, and then the production company, and
It's tension, man. It's like, it's crazy.
there was a point in all of that. I actually got recurring nightmares about your dad. I like there were points like I would think about it. I just when I would see his name or when I would see his picture, I would just kind of clam up.
It's been rough for both of us.
I think this is as good a time as any for you. Go ahead, Kristal.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just
If you need a minute, that's okay.
Oh yeah, totally.
no, it's just the AC is going, so my eyes are getting dry. But I don't know. It's a really fucked situation. In all honesty, my dad, his drinking has gotten a lot worse since we've moved out. A lot worse. Like from a pint to a liter of vodka. So not good, but he actually attempted a little while ago. He was in the hospital.
No.
It was bad.
Oh.
We thought he wasn't gonna make it, but he pulled through. Praise God. But it's just been a mess. It's been an absolute mess, and I don't want to get into too many details. Family is kind of fallen apart because of everything, family turning on family. And it's really painful, but I just find myself feeling really numb to all of it.
I just want to say, Kristal, I can relate having a father with alcohol issues.
Yeah, it messes with you.
Yeah.
It messes with the entire family.
He's never become violent or anything. It does cause him to say kind of hurtful things towards my mom. Like it's better now, but it was really bad at one time. There was one night where he was so drunk, he actually went on our roof in the middle of a storm just to fix a satellite dish, and he fell off and had to go to the hospital.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. He barely survived. He it was lucky he landed on his hip.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It really tears your family apart when it comes to stuff like this. And for anybody out there who deals who either deals with it themselves or has a family member who deals with it, I'm sorry that you have to go through that. But just know that they're not doing it to hurt you. They don't even think about hurting people or about how this affects other people. They just think this is how I'm going to survive. This is the only way that I can live.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really scary thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel for my dad, but I also have to know what I can handle. And I can't handle that.
I remember like early on, like you had said stuff like, if anything happens to him, I wouldn't be able to forgive myself
If I wasn't by his side.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I used to tell myself. But it just got to a point where it just hits you, where you think, I can't live like this anymore.
Yeah.
And it was really hard, but I've gotten past it for the most part. And things with family are still really tense, and there's a lot of people who don't talk to me because they think I did something bad, but I can't convince them otherwise. But I don't know. It's just like I said, I feel really numb when it comes to that stuff. But I know it's affecting me on a really, really negative level
Mm-hmm.
to the point where I can't find joy or I can't find the motivation to do things that I love.
Yeah.
Like I've had this bike here. You can't see it, but it's right against the wall. It's a really, really nice bike. I haven't found any motivation to ride it. I haven't found any motivation to draw. Sometimes it's very difficult to feel motivated to work or clean. That's another thing. I got a job and it's a drain, but that's how jobs are. But I've kind of gotten back into playing music, so
Mm-hmm.
there's that, and I'm excited about that. But it's affecting me on that level, and it's also affecting me physically. Like I've developed acid reflux really bad to the
Oh,
point
God.
where I almost throw up.
Mm.
And it hurts a lot. It really sucks, and I can't figure out how to eat in order to avoid getting that acid reflux. Like if I don't eat, I get acid reflux. If I eat, I get acid reflux, and it's just a pain. And not only that, but my hair is falling out, and
God.
I also pull my hair out.
Okay.
So
That's a very acute like stress response because I've been through it. And have you I don't want to interrupt you or anything, but have you considered like maybe talking to a professional?
I have, but it hasn't really helped, to be honest.
Mhm.
I think it might just be that I need to find a different person
Sure.
to talk to.
Sure.
Because he's addressing, he kind of brushes off what happened to me, like
Okay,
what
that's not good at all. No.
yeah, he kind of just says, like, in relation to my dad, like, well, what he says, well, what did you expect? You can't expect anything out of people, anything. And I said
Oh
all I
my
wanted was
God.
a level of respect, and he said you can't expect that at all.
What?
And then he's also saying stuff like, well, if Josh makes you happy, why are you sad?
Oh, okay.
Look, I
No.
have a very low bar
No. That
therapist. I had a really good therapist, but my level of therapist that I expect is like somebody you'd see in a Woody Allen movie. Who the fuck is this therapist from? Stanley Kubrick?
Um,
Jesus
yeah, no,
Christ.
he's bad. He's bad. Yeah, you shouldn't. No. That's a
I didn't
horrible
know
thing to
that.
say.
yeah.
Wow.
What the
That's
fuck?
grossly negligent and like gross like I don't
Like
it's
he's held
horrible. How
accountable.
the hell do you say that to your client, to your patient client?
Like he's holding me accountable, and I like that aspect, that I'm responsible for my actions and what I do, and the fact that I'm not painting is something that, or doing the things that I love is something that I have to fix and I have to take charge of. I like that aspect of it, but he's not addressing the core issues. And if I don't address those, I won't be able to do the things that I love.
His job is to help you and not to make you feel bad and make you feel more guilty, and that sounds like what it is, what he's doing. So that to me, that's trash. Yeah, you definitely should not talk to him anymore, I think, in my opinion,
Yeah,
which means less than nothing, but I mean like yeah, it just sounds really bad to me because I've been to a therapist and and like their job is to help you, not to hinder you and not to make you feel more guilty and make you feel like you're a piece of shit because you go to them because you're already feeling that way.
yeah.
So like yeah, but anyway, continue.
No, just the main thing that bothered me initially was him saying that, well, if because I was saying, like, I have a lot of things to be happy about. I have this wonderful fiance who loves me more than anybody else ever did. And, I have this home, I have this roof over my head, I have a job. Um, I plan on going to school. I have a lot of good things going for me, and Josh does make me happy, but I just have these issues that I need to work through. And I explained that to him. He said, well, if Josh makes you so happy, then why are you sad? Like, why are you why do you have these issues? Like,
Because it's not that simple.
Like, it's, I figured that, like, he's not going to make all those problems go away.
He doesn't have a magic wand or anything.
Life is not that simple. I hate it when people say that, because it's like,
this
dude,
valleys.
your lack of empathy is so bad. What the hell are you even doing being a therapist? You have no empathy.
This podcast has been hugely helpful to me. Yeah, I don't expect it to fix any problem I have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Boy, this pisses me off, though.
Where did this guy get his degree from? A box of Fruit Loops?
We're gonna go to his school and we're gonna get some pipe cleaners and like some matches, and we're gonna burn it to the ground.
Yeah.
We're coming for you, the University of Chef Boyardee. Because this guy's an imposter.
He goes, what do you mean? I just make the SpaghettiOs. It's not my fault.
But
I've just offended every single Italian that's listening to us. Sorry, guys.
I'm only a quarter offended.
I could be offended, but I'll admit I don't know my father. So.
Hey, it wasn't as bad as Elon Musk doing Wario on Saturday Night Live. So let's continue on from there, I think. No, but Kristal, yeah, I think what you need is I think that, first of all, yeah, definitely find another therapist, because this guy sucks. But like, just like, don't feel, because I've been in this situation, don't feel like it's your fault. Don't feel guilty about about things with your dad and with your family and stuff like that. Like, I think that although there's always going to be that responsibility, and you'll always feel that obligation on your own shoulders because you're a good person and that's what good people do. I know this. You don't take all of the responsibility on yourself, and don't think that it's your fault for things happening the way that they've happened, because it is not your fault. And Josh, you too. Like, you guys are in a very rough situation, a very complicated situation where you're dealing with, it's very deep-seated issues and stuff. And until your dad actually faces up to them himself, you're not going to, like, you're always going to feel that weight. And I'm just telling you right now to tell yourselves that it is not your fault. And if you feel any guilt towards that, like if you feel any part of yourself that is thinking like it, like you deserve to feel that way or something, don't feel that way and forgive yourself. Because I went through a rough time where I was like down in the dumps and I could not deal with it. I was almost suicidal. And one day I just got this thing of like, you have to forgive yourself, even if you did nothing wrong. Even if technically, like in reality, you really didn't do anything wrong, but you still feel that guilt, just forgive yourself and let that and give it away. Because if you hang on to that, that's what's ultimately going to cause a lot of problems in life. And I know this because I've been there. And like,
Absolutely.
yeah, I feel like, first of all, like, definitely, like, in terms of practically speaking, like, you definitely need another therapist, because this guy's awful.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And like, he's horrible. He's horrible.
More of this stuff, because you had told me some of the stuff, that the more effective stuff. I was like, well, at least he's encouraging you to like work on your art and all that. But if I had known that he had said something like that, like, well, Josh makes you happy, so why aren't you happy? I would have said, fucking talk to the principal or whoever the fuck. To get another therapist. That's like the worst thing you could say to a patient.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that is the worst.
I don't have a lot of good experience with therapists, because they've always just like immediately diagnosed me. Oh, you have OCD. Oh, you have ADHD. Oh, you have PTSD. Oh, you have, X mental disorder. And I was just like, none of these are helping me.
Yeah.
None of these diagnoses are helping me.
Like,
none of these medications are helping me.
Like, you're saying I have a problem, but how can you help me find a solution?
people just want to show off their knowledge and be like, I totally know what's going on with you. And they don't want to help you. They don't want to sit there and actually listen. And that's the therapist's job, is to listen to the person. And like, I mean, I feel like we're doing a better job of it than he does.
Yeah.
This therapist sounds a lot like the
Sorry.
therapist from Scott the Wise. Just in therapy generally moves quickest whenever I agree with whatever the patient has to say. And he's drinking a beer the whole time.
I think what it might be is that he's because he mainly would go to like prisons and be therapist for convicts. Which I feel like when you go to a place like that, all of those people have nothing. Like
So-
they literally have so little that their freedom has been stripped away.
Yeah.
So they've already hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
But when it comes to people who still, have a lot of good things about them, but they still have these underlying issues, I guess he doesn't really understand that.
You can have a lot of good things. You can surround yourself with a lot of good things and a lot of good people and still have underlying, issues that need to be resolved. And you can, like, it's not, none of that. I hate it when people are dismissive of everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's very much a lack of empathy and compassion. And so, like, if you're going to just sit there and sit in judgment of me or a person, any person, you're just going to sit in judgment of me, then you shouldn't be a therapist, because that is not the job of the person. It's you're supposed to try to help. You're not, and listening is a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, I've been told by a lot of people that, like, even just the fact that you just listen to it, that's good, because that helps. If you feel like, if a person is constantly judging you and not listening to what you're actually saying, that's not worth anything to
Yeah,
me.
like I had been on like 3 appointments with him.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one was, just establishing what was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't able to get into the kind of abuse that I faced.
Yeah.
Like what exactly happened in my childhood, or even something as important as, my brush with sexual assault. I wasn't even able to get into that before he just started going into like almost judging me.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah,
And he
terrible.
said, well, here's how you fix it. I'm like, I haven't even told you it's everything that's wrong. How do you know how to fix it?
Exactly. Did he actually say that? Did he actually say, like, here's how you fix everything?
No. But I'm just saying in broad terms, like,
Mm-hmm.
what you have to do.
I wouldn't have been shocked with that guy if he had said that. That's why. But, like, yeah, I mean, yeah. Well,
It's frustrating, and I'm working on it. But
mm-hmm.
we all have those days where you just think, how am I going to get through this? How am I going to get through this moment, this second, this next minute, this next day? We don't know.
Try to just, like, I don't want to sound like a hippy dippy, but try to, like, be present with yourself and in this moment, and let the past go and let the future go, and just be like, I'm gonna eat this damn apple because it's good for me, it's nutritious, and it brings me joy. Try to be in the moment where it's like you're living for yourself, and you're like, never mind any of that other stuff, never mind all the noise that's around you, and just try to, like, be caring to yourself and be nice to yourself. This coming from the guy who is constantly downing himself, by the way, but, like, be nice, be kind to yourself, because we all think that you're an awesome person and we all know you. And I feel like, as far as, like, for on a personal level, what you can do in this case is, just like I said, just let go of the guilt, let go of the past, try to be in the moment, and try to just, like, try to practice self-care, because that's, like, a huge thing. Even for me, like, I'm notoriously bad at this. I am constantly, like facing self-doubt and self-loathing, and I hate myself, and I can't stand who I am as a person, really, a lot of the time, even though I'm a loner and I hate being alone with myself, but at the same time, it's where I'm most comfortable. But it's like I just, so take it from me, be nice to yourself. But I
Yeah.
mean, like, yeah, just try to do that for yourself, because you only got we all, each of us, have this one life, and that's it.
Very
We don't know
true.
what's coming next, and if there is anything coming next, and I hope there is, but
That's something I can speak to too, because I can
Yeah.
I myself a lot, and I really do think that me and Keona are very much kindred spirits, and that I've been in the same positions that he's been in. I used to think a lot of the same things that he does, and it was you that broke me out of that shell. Just that I used to be more comfortable alone sometimes,
Mhm.
and you really got me out of that. But
Well, I kind of forced you out of it because
you won't leave me alone.
I'm a bit clingy.
You won't leave me alone, but it's okay. I love you for that. But yeah,
Yeah, that's something that I definitely have to work on. Just like you guys were earlier talking about how Twitter and Facebook are black holes that suck you in. My black hole is
Could
YouTube.
Oh yeah,
you
Trust me, I think we all know.
know what? Can
we
we,
know that one.
on a lighter note, can we mention the fucked up shit you've been watching lately?
I don't know if that's a light or not, Josh, but I find myself like going into getting trapped into this black hole of just constant YouTube videos. And I figured out, or just now, thanks to you, Keona, that I'm doing it, that I'm watching these videos to get away from the moment. When I have nothing else to think of, when I have nothing else to worry about, I've already spent the whole day worrying about this.
Mhm.
I find myself just trapped in this because I don't want to think. I just want to turn my brain off and just consume.
Sometimes you do need that too. Sometimes you need to just like you need an escape, and so do we.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, like
Copyright me.
there you go. That was Jacob's. But yeah, I mean, like you sometimes you do need to just shut down and just be like, okay, I'm so exhausted. I'm at the point where I just can't take it anymore. And you just need to do that. And that is, in a sense, a form of self-care, because you're giving yourself that permission to be like, okay, I'm just gonna sit there and I'm gonna watch a couple of dumb videos, and I'm just gonna be like, you know what? This is my life. This is
Yeah.
where I'm at right now. I'm sitting there on the couch and I'm just watching YouTube videos, going down the rabbit hole. But I mean, it depends on what you're watching too. Like for me, it tends to be like late night comedy, and it tends to be like,
No.
that's where I'm at.
For Kristal, it's true crime stories. Hence the Mortal Kombat fatality that we alluded to earlier. These are some messed up stories. Like the story that I keep talking about, the Mortal Kombat fatality, it actually almost made me throw up.
Ooh,
And I'm not a
Jeez.
squeamish person, but
just in all seriousness, this actually happened to somebody, and we have to be very careful talking about it in all respects.
yeah, in
No
all
names.
respect,
No names.
Person.
no names, and we're not going to get into it. But
Yeah.
literally,
'Cause-
I walked in at one point, coming in from work, and she was in the middle of one of the stories, and I just hear, and then they were gagged, and then she just turns to me, and I'm just like, do I even want to know?
Because like I've kind of fallen into this trap of watching like true crime, but the much more disturbing ones where like you could not imagine being in this position, and it's really sobering when you think about it, because here we are talking about you know mental problems and family issues and just life issues, but then you hear some of these harrowing stories of people going through the most traumatic thing you could possibly ever think of. Like,
Yeah.
you know what? No, this is one that I can talk about because luckily, thank the Lord, she lived. She lived through it, through her experience. And she actually wrote a book. And I think the book is called I Have Life. And oh my God, this girl was living in South Africa, and she was just in her car. This was back in the 90s. She was sitting in her car. She had just dropped off her friend after a night of partying. It was about 1 a.m. And this guy comes up to her car. She hadn't locked it, so he opens it and says, like, scoot over. And basically, like, move over. I'm taking your car. And so he drives around. He says, I'm not going to hurt you. I just need to go run some errands. So he picks up another guy while she's in the car, and he has a knife. And the guy gets in. The three of them drive out to a isolated area, and they tell her, we're going to have sex with you, whether you like it or not. Are you going to fight? And at this point, she's so terrified, and she knows that they're going to kill her. She just says, okay. And so they have their way with her. And then this is where things get ugly. They stabbed her 35 times in the abdomen.
Ooh.
And then 17 times in the neck. This
Fuck?
woman lived through this.
Whoa.
They put her out on the road in the middle of nowhere on a dirt road. She starts crawling, and she feels something squishy by her leg, and it's her organs trailing outside of her.
What the fuck?
Yeah. She's in so much shock. She can't feel too much pain, so she just like kind of stuffs everything back in and holds it with a denim shirt. And she realizes she's not making any progress in where she's going. So she musters up the strength to stand up, and her head falls backwards because it's almost decapitated.
Ooh.
And so she's shambling through the streets, naked, holding her organs in with one arm and holding her head in place with the other. And she finds help. She goes to the hospital, and they are able to save her.
Whoa.
What?
And it gets even crazier how crazy this woman is. They find the guys who did it because she remembered their names, and they catch them. They had previous rape charges. And so they tell her that
Stupidly.
It's a weird thing, but they told her that they can't press charges unless she gives vocal testimony.
Yeah, verbal testimony.
And she has a tube down her throat, and her head is almost decapitated.
So then the mad lad that she is,
she just has them take out the tube, even though she can't breathe, and gives testimony.
Oh my
and
god.
the guys go to prison for life.
Wow.
Good indeed.
This is the lighter story that she's seen.
Well, no, I mean, I'm listening to this. Like, I remember listening to this story, and the moment that they describe her head falling back, I immediately just like grabbed my throat. I'm like, just freaking out. But just how insane this case is. I mean, just they stabbed her 35 times in the abdomen. None of those stabs went into her organs. They didn't stab any arteries. Out of 35 stabs, nothing landed anything lethal. And then again, 17 times in the neck, where there's two major arteries, and they missed. It just like, okay, there's a higher power involved in this. There's no other explanation. There's no other explanation for that. That is a miracle. And she gives talks now, and she's an activist, and
she's got awesome scars on her neck.
Her name is,
I don't mean that, but I mean, I don't mean that like jokingly. I mean, like, she's a trooper for wearing that and just being able to like own it and being able to just be able to talk about it.
Live past that, because that's intense. Alison Botha. She is a mad lad.
Wow. That's amazing. It's amazing that she lived through that.
It's like some promising young woman shit.
Worse, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds worse. But
It
wow.
does.
Man.
That's like some almost like that what is that movie from like the 70s or something? What was it called? I Spit on Your Grave or something?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
But it's just
but
like,
it's real, and it's oh god. Jesus.
I look at my issues, And I look at hers and I think if she could go through that and make it out the other end, I can do it too.
Yeah. Yes, you can.
It's really beautiful. I mean, it's terrifying.
And in a way, it's like, yeah, in a way that it can inspire you at the same time, because like the strength that she showed and the resilience, like, and that's not just like physically, but also mentally and emotionally. I'm sure that she had to go through a lot, just
Absolutely.
to, yeah.
I just
Yeah.
find it a little bit funny that I watch video essays and Reddit videos to kind of keep myself calm, and you watch this stuff.
Yeah, I watch
Hey,
it.
we got a lot of true crime podcasts that actually follow us and stuff on Twitter and have
I
been
know
very
that's
supportive
so
of us.
weird. Hey, Kristal, we can hook you up with them.
Maybe. But it's really insane.
I hope you
Yeah.
know I'm proud of you for just in the fact that even you're able to open up with us,
Well,
and
of
that you're able to
course.
talk to me about this stuff too. Because she's talked to me about some of this stuff, but
Oh, you mean about true crime?
no, not just that. But I mean, like,
Because you're stuck with this.
no, I know I'm stuck with this. I mean,
So exactly was hard.
I knew what I was getting into when I put that ring on your finger. But look, I mean, just in general, you being able to, because there are times where I'll admit you kind of clam up and you don't talk about stuff, and I know it's like a coping mechanism.
I almost didn't right now. Like I almost like chickened out and just like, you know what, I don't want to talk about this. I'll just brush over it. And I feel like I might have just a little bit, but more in a like avoiding the details kind of way. But I'm
I mean,
glad. I'm glad that they opened up.
Yeah, I mean, this is a public forum in a way where where we're saying a lot. So it's up to you guys, however much you want to share, of course. And like, yeah, it's even for me, like, it's really hard to open up to people. Very select people know about the things that I face in my life and the way that I'm feeling, truly, because a lot of the time I'm just like, no, I'm all good. And I'm actually sitting there going like
Then
the narrator from Scott Pilgrim suddenly comes in and goes, he was not all good.
Yeah, you just hear Ron Howard's narration. He hasn't been all good.
I'm kind of the same way
ever since.
Where like on social media I may come off a different way, but to my close friends, I'm starting to feel more comfortable opening up to people.
Yeah, Mike, how has it been for you?
That brings us to you, because
Yeah.
you've heard us.
Yeah.
But we haven't heard the
Yeah.
man of the hour. We haven't heard our beloved captain.
Right.
Okay, well, to be honest, the things that I'm going through are not nearly as intense as everything you guys have faced. It's more just, facing my own personal demons, getting, ever since December, I've been seeing a therapist, to get over, anxiety, a little bit of depression, getting through, self-esteem. And so far, while I'm still probably not 100%, even like down to the fact that, like between you and me, I don't really listen to or watch anything that I'm involved in, because I still can't handle.
It's hard for me. It's really hard.
Yeah, I really do not like the sound of my voice, how I sound like
Me too.
on camera.
Neither. I sound high most of the time.
I hate how soft, but scratchy my voice sounds. But then I have how I hear it in my head. But then when I hear it, when I edit videos, I'm just like, oh my god, I must annoy a lot of people.
Yeah, that's well, luckily nobody has ever said that. I will still hear that in my head. Just, listening to myself feels like nails on a chalkboard.
I don't think so.
I mean, I feel the same way though. I feel like like just listening to myself, I'm like, oh God, why do I have to hear myself? I don't want to. But you know, I don't, like when I'm editing the podcast and then my voice comes up, I'm just like, oh, can I just delete myself?
But I'll say it that Keona, I've always said that you sound like Ryan Johnson to me. And Michael, I'll say that you sound like Zack Snyder to me.
Oh God, now everybody on Twitter is gonna be like, you ruined Star Wars.
Hey, yeah. How do I sound like, Josh?
Who do you sound like? Who do you sound like? You know who you sound like to me? You sound like God, what the fuck is his name? He's Michael Bluth. He's in
Jason
Ozark.
Bateman.
Jason Bateman.
I sound like Jason Bateman to
Jason
you?
Bateman.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can kind of hear that.
I can hear it. I can hear a little bit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But damn, getting compared to Zack Snyder, that's a high compliment.
Who do you guys think I sound like? Just out of curiosity before we very hijacking, but
I'm tempted to say Zack Snyder, but that's only because you voiced him in Gwen's videos.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, that's too easy.
There is a little bit of Zack Snyder though, definitely.
sorry. Continue, Mike.
Where was I going? So yeah, therapy, been there since the end of December. And while I'm still not at 100%, he is helping me in a few ways, such as, giving me some affirmations, kind of helping me gain a little bit more self-confidence, and to really put the emphasis on self-care. Like one thing I've been taking advantage of a couple times, at my job, we get like 56 hours of like mandatory paid sick leave. So I've been using those a couple times just on days where I'm feeling just completely overwhelmed between, my responsibilities here and everything going on at work. So if I need, yeah, I like the before the first time I took it, I felt a little bit guilty because I'm like one of those people who kind of is a workaholic, and trust me, if you've seen my input here, that can be pretty apparent. But like I always feel bad whenever I whenever I have to leave work for for whatever reason. But one thing that my therapist has helped me to understand is like that's not being selfish. That's it's actually better to put yourself before others. Like whenever you're on a plane, one of the first things they tell you when they're demonstrating how to put on the oxygen masks is help yourself before helping the person next to you. So I think that's one of the one of the biggest takeaways that I've had from therapy, at least this go around.
Do you guys struggle with being people pleasers?
Yes.
Yeah.
More than I like to admit.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I was telling and I won't throw this person under the bus because it's been years, but I was telling Kirsten, my best friend, I was telling her about this situation that I had when I was in high school, when I was in junior high. And there was a guy who used to come to me and be like, he used to say, "Oh, that's a really nice lunch you got there," and be like, "Would you mind sharing it?" Or and stuff like that. And at first I was like, "Oh, sure," because I was like a nice, naive kid. And then it became like to the point where it was like, no, I really need my lunch today. And it's like, oh no, I think you can just let me have it.
Aw.
And I would give it to him anyway, because I just thought that it was just the kind thing to do. I didn't realize I was being taken advantage of, and that was an important lesson to learn. But and I don't mean that like I'm sure that guy is a completely different person now, and time heals all wounds and all that stuff. And I don't mean to like bring up bad memories or anything like that if he ever listens to this, which I doubt he does. But it's an important thing to learn that like there are situations in life where you do have to put yourself first, so you do have to take care of yourself before other people, and I think that it's a little bit lost on, like, those of us who grew up with, like I grew up with, like it's always others first. You never think of yourself because that's selfish. It's like,
Yeah.
no, it's not really selfish.
It's
It's
important to look after yourself, and it's important to
yeah,
know your own limitations,
Yeah.
especially mentally and physically and emotionally and psychologically. Just like with Kristal, you had to find out your limitations. You had to find out what you could deal with, and especially with that, Keona, that fuck.
yeah. I mean, well, that, like I said, learned that lesson.
And
But
in
like,
all honesty, like, sorry, go ahead.
well, I mean, I think that, like, I was just a naive kid. I didn't know what the difference was, and I didn't know how to read social. I was socially awkward. I was like, good Lord, when I was 13 years old. I mean, if I could go back in time and see 13-year-old me, I'd probably slap myself. But
We
that wouldn't
all
solve
could,
anything. But I
Keona. We
mean,
all could.
I would just be like, dude, like, wake up. But it's yeah. I mean, it's just like, that was an important lesson for me to learn. So that's what I took from it. I mean, I've learned a lot of lessons throughout the years, and I'm a late bloomer on top of everything else. I'm 40 years old, guys. I just turned 40 on April 24th. I'm like, I'm over it now. I'm just like, the memories are going, the brain ain't functioning as well as she could be. But
Yeah.
but I mean, like,
Guys,
yeah,
you,
go on.
you know how I always go out of my way to compliment you guys?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I hardly ever compliment myself.
Do it.
So I can relate
Do
to
it,
that.
brother.
Okay, because I'm always bringing about, like, I'm always reflecting on the shitty things I've said on this podcast, and like, or things that could potentially be shitty.
What?
Or
What? I don't even know what you're talking about. And I'm the person who edits it. And I'm like, half the time I'm just like, dude, I'm like, why the Jacob, man? Come on.
As I said
like
earlier,
literally just now, like when I said that's some promising young woman shit, and you said that it was worse. I was like, I was kind of subconsciously thinking, oh God, did I really
Oh.
compare it to that?
No, I mean, that you don't even have to worry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, don't sweat it. And I'm gonna say this also, just going to Michael, just the fact that you have a job that's able to do that,
yeah,
that's amazing. I wish my job did that.
seriously. I just found out
Yeah.
from my job that my bathroom breaks are going to cut into my 10-minute breaks.
Ew.
What?
Yeah.
What?
That is awful.
No.
If I need to go use the restroom, however long I take in the restroom is going to be subtracted from my break.
So the fact that you're able to do those little things just to keep yourself in check, and the company allows it, man, the fact that you're able to take advantage of that and work on yourself,
Do it.
that's amazing.
More
And
companies should be that way,
That's
especially large companies.
Yeah, especially
Companies-
large companies.
Companies that give you the chance to work on yourself.
we're looking at you, Jeff Bezos.
Guy, like, isn't it ironic that he's bought, like, he owns the Bond movies now
owns the
because
Bond
he's
movies.
exactly like a Bond villain?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to stream Invincible Season 2 coming to Amazon Prime on,
Okay.
April 22nd, 2022.
Do you remember, like, all the product placement in Death Stranding, Josh?
You say that like it's a bad thing.
The Ride with Norman Reedus.
On Thursdays on
forget.
EMC, but you know what? That's just life.
I mean, it is.
You
It's
just you save a baby, you deliver
that's pretty much the
packages,
entire plot of the game, really. It's just the
and then you
ride
have
with Norman Reedus.
Then you have some monster, you just call it a day.
And you
Yeah.
just like have a Mortal Kombat showdown with Troy Baker.
How many times have we mentioned Mortal Kombat in this episode? How many times have I mentioned Mortal
It's got
Kombat?
Mortal Kombat on the brain right now, man. It's you know what it is? It must be that hunky new character that everyone's crazy about.
I guess Ramen Noodle Man.
Kristal.
What? His suit looks like ramen.
Okay,
It does. It's amazing. It's
Really?
amazing.
Oh
I've
my
never thought of that until now.
I may have had a few too many.
He totally does. Yes. Scorpion needed his
God.
help to defeat Sub-Zero, by the way. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Um,
Couldn't do it on his own. He just needed that guy. That poor actor. I'm so sorry, dude. Like, you did a good job, but that character needs to go.
Oh, he got the short end of the. Wait, shoot. What are his weapons called?
the Barakas or
Tonfas.
no, not the Barakas
Tonfas.
character.
What were they?
Tonfas.
Tompos. He got the short end of the Tompa.
But I'm gonna say this,
Literally did.
Michael. Just the fact that even with all this, you're still able to help us keep the ship steering with all of this, and with especially this podcast in particular.
Seriously, if it weren't for you and Keona, we wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't have this.
And Jacob.
And Jacob.
Let me tell you guys. Okay, let's do this. Everybody say a good thing about each other. You guys don't have to say anything about me because you know you guys have done it already. But like, I'm gonna say good things about you guys. Like Mike, dude, the fact that you write half of the things that we post now in the show notes is like at least half of it. Maybe it's like 70% by now, but like the fact that you do that takes so much weight off my shoulders, and I really appreciate it. And like I just, you know, I'm so happy that you were a part of this and you've been a part of this since the beginning. And I'm so grateful that we met, you know, during our time at the other place that shall not be named. And
The
you know
bad
that
ones.
but I mean, like, you know, it was a good place for me too, because that's where I made a lot of friends, and a lot of you guys have come with me on this journey. So I'm very, you know, like I said, meeting you has been really good in that sense. And thank you for all the work that you do and for
Appreciate
keeping me
that.
on track and not letting me give up. And Jacob, man, I mean, without you, we wouldn't have the Renegade, you know, home theater, the marquee, whatever, streaming wars, we wouldn't have that. So, I mean, like, specifically, you know, I thank you for like for telling me that you wanted the responsibility, because you came to me and you said, you know what, I want to do more for this site and I want to do this. And like for proofreading my Last of Us 2 review, and like for just, you know, like it's, you have a lot of passion for this as well. And it's in a different avenue. It's in a different avenue from my passion, which runs more towards games and comics. So like, you know, I really appreciate you, and I appreciate you taking charge of the movie podcast, and for all your ideas and for coming up with our slogan. Yeah, I mean, like, so thank you for that, man.
Okay. Now it's my turn. Okay.
Oh wait, hold on. I got to do Josh and
Keona-
Kristal. I have to.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Hang on 1 second.
You don't
So,
have to, man.
yes, I have to. So Kristal, just getting to know you has been so much fun. You know, like I remember you were like at first not even on the show, and just having you interject on that one episode on like our intro show and like in the Renegade Arcade, the second podcast that we did, just coming on and just being yourself and being so funny, and like just adding what we needed to the podcast, adding so much to it, you know. I really appreciate you. And I appreciate you for looking after my bro here, because Josh, you are my brother. I've known you the longest out of anybody here. We met in the Buffy group, and like the Buffy Facebook group way back when. Same place I met Kirsten, same place I met Paul, and so many other people that are like really important friends to me now, and like Phil and everybody. Like that was a, you know, just an important place for us. And so like, yeah, for you, man, like I've known since the moment that we met, and since the moment you've talked to me about your interest in becoming a director, I've known that you had it. And I've always tried to encourage you, and you know, and I've, you know, you've taken like my shitty dialogue that I tried to help you write, and like that I've contributed a little bit sometimes to your scripts and stuff, and like little notes and stuff like that, like my crappy stuff. You've taken it, and you've done such a great job, and I've seen you improve so much. So like, man, you give me hope for the future, man, because like I was like, you know, for a while there I wasn't sure. And I just think that you're just incredible. You're doing an awesome job, and you know, and you help me out so much with editing and stuff like that. Like, yeah. So I'm very grateful to all of you guys. I just wanted to say that for the record because
Sell yourself too short. Your DNA's still in the script that I wrote a long time ago, which I'm gonna make at some point. I swear to God.
but not my literal DNA, just so that everybody's clear. I didn't write it in blood or anything.
Jacob, you go ahead, man. You take the baton.
Keona, you trudged through a lot. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. You're always honest about how you're feeling. Okay, you always are. When you never hesitate to let people know how you feel. That can actually be healthy. I'm just saying that.
Sometimes.
That does. Does it sound? I'm sorry.
You're good, man.
I'm turning what you think are negative into positives. Okay, I'm just saying.
I know. Good.
Also, your knowledge of comic books and video games is just insane. Okay.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Thank you, but I could learn more.
Oh,
thank you.
To me, your mind's like an encyclopedia of this stuff. Okay. And you're always receptive to new ideas. You're always, you're not a hog. All right. You're not a hog at all. You're not a person. All right. A person. Like you even tell yourself you're not this fuck of a person. So
yeah, we don't want to be that.
Mike, you are incredibly nice. You are incredibly receptive to people's ideas. You're so level-headed. You never let your anger get the best of you. You're just a really cool guy. And
Thank you.
Josh, your passion, my God, as a filmmaker and as someone who discusses movies at the age of 23, like, did you just turn 23?
I'm turning 23 this year.
Okay, well, yeah, you're 22 right now, and you've already achieved so much, and it's fucking amazing. Okay, like, how did you? I knew that. How did you do that shot in your rest stop short, where it's like the car whizzing by the camera, like the opening shot? Was that dangerous?
Cool.
That was just a crane that my producer had, and we tried to get that for a long time, and even now, I'll admit what we should have done. We should have opened the movie like with the sound like zooming by as the credits started rolling, and then cut immediately as we see the car whiz past and then truck up. But that's still like a really beautiful shot too, regardless. And all drawn by Kristal. Because you storyboarded that one. That was one of the few shots you storyboarded.
Oh yeah, you're right. I actually
Kristal, you've been the life of the party, I gotta say, ever since. Like, every time you just light up the room, okay? Like, and yeah, your ocarina, like I've said, you play a mean ocarina, I gotta say. And you're always you're very candid, okay? You gotta say you're not afraid to express the traumas you've been through. Your laugh is very contagious. And you're just an earthy person. Right?
Thank you.
You're just pure. And I love when you two snuggle. Okay, it's the cutest thing ever.
Which I don't know if you guys were noticing right now, but we kind of had like a little competition of who would finish the water.
I also another fun memory I have is when we did the first home theater one. I was like looking back at some of the older movies that were shown in theaters before COVID hit. And Kristal, we hear the sound of you beating the shit out of bed bugs.
I think I remember that.
We kept that in. I kept that in.
Yeah.
You don't remember? Like, you were just having like a fierce battle.
It was like a bed
bugs in the room.
It was like
it was like something, and you kept spraying the shit out of the room.
I don't remember.
Like, I'm gonna get them
like
all.
we're just trying to talk like, oh yeah, so there's this and that, and you just hear fucking die, fucking bitch.
Yeah.
I don't like bugs. Okay,
Incredible.
especially when they're in my bed.
All right, who wants to go next with the compliment-a-thon?
Let's hear Michael.
All right, I'll go next.
Josh is like, Mike, you're under the spotlight.
I want to hear more compliments.
All right. Starting with Jacob. I really do appreciate your passion for film and for holding down the fort on Marquee on days where, because I'm so busy with the animation side of things plus everything else I do, it's good to have someone else keeping that one going.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh, at the age of 22, I already see a bright future for you as a filmmaker. Even just like the few short films I've seen, with Rest Up, I think, being one of your best. I'm just really excited to see what you have planned for the future.
There's a lot. And believe me, I'm going to send it to you whenever any of that stuff is done, because your opinion, I hold it in high regard.
Awesome. I look forward to it. And Kristal, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Ever since the very first Renegade Pop Culture podcast, you've been an integral part of this whole thing. Even as just like a background character in the first episode, I knew she's got to be a regular.
Yeah, yep.
And the fact that you've been so willing to open up through these mental health podcasts takes a lot of courage, and I have nothing but respect for everything that you've gone through and that you still come out the other end.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, the fearless leader. You and I go back way back in those days.
Those old days.
And
everybody was like, Mike is too positive. I was just like, dude, he writes about what he likes to write about. Like, bro, like, come on.
Yeah, like,
jeez. I mean,
positivity. I remember those days where there was like, oh, Mike rates everything 5 stars. It's just like, look, what's wrong with just seeing the good
loving things?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's better than this one guy on YouTube who does bad movie reviews of literally every movie that comes out, and I am not exaggerating. He literally, and there's a recent movie, he does a bad review of it.
Besides, if anybody's going to be the grump on this podcast, it's going to be me.
You're the Deadpool, man.
Hey, you're grump.
That's true.
But no, I mean, Mike, I really appreciate that because first of all, I don't want to interrupt you. So if you wanted to keep showering praise upon me, please go on.
Well, really, all I have to say is that just thank you for just being that support. Like you and I have had each other's backs for what, 8 years now.
Gosh, yeah.
And it's. I don't see it stopping anytime soon.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
So just thank you, man. And because of that, like I've said before, I will not let you give up on this.
I know.
Even if we don't blow up this year, even if we don't blow up next year, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
It's happening. It's happening. Google search results, man. I mean, it's gone way up since we just started. So I mean, like, people are finding us, and I think it's all happening organically. I'm not promoting anything on Facebook or anything like that. It's just people are just finding us, and I think that's wonderful. It's amazing, and I'm so happy and proud of you guys because you guys have done it more so than I have.
We can be the new face of the reviewer industry on the internet.
Just like Scorpio Sky and AEW, the face of the revolution.
And nothing will make me happier. But I believe that brings this podcast to a close.
Oh,
now,
wait. Josh, Kristal, don't you have to give compliments too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they
that's
do.
right.
And
I'm sorry. Continue.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
We're gonna do one more thing after this, which is gonna be a tougher one. So, okay, Josh and Kristal, go ahead.
Kristal, you go first. Ladies first.
Ladies first?
Ladies first.
You're just buying time.
Yeah, I'm buying time.
He totally is. Okay, go on, Kristal.
Well, first off, Michael, I remember back when I first started on the whole podcast, and I kind of started out with the animation podcast, and I remember having like a full-on mental breakdown, just thinking I was so insecure with myself. I was like, I'm gonna mess up. I'm gonna say something stupid. I'm gonna be stupid on it. I was just freaking out. And then having you there and just easing me into it, you're such a positive light in this whole thing. And I thank you for that. And as time goes on, you really help me, ease into things and ease into this. And I thank you for that. Mm-hmm. And then Keona, thank you for being our fearless leader. In all seriousness,
let me tell you.
And thank you for being open with that. I in late night calls, I hear you with talking with Josh, and I'm grateful that you're open with me as well as with Josh. I know you guys go way further back than me and Josh go, and I can't compete with that.
Oh no, it's not a competition. You were always involved, in my opinion. Like, yeah, you're always part of it, So don't feel like, yeah, you're a part of it as much as you're my sister. He's my brother. You're my sister.
Thank you, and thank you for taking care of him when I can't.
I tried.
It's not easy.
Try to be supportive.
Yeah, it's not easy taking care of this guy. But I love
not easy taking care of me, man. He's done more of that, I think.
And Jacob, just thank you for being an absolute fucking ray of sunshine.
Dude, really.
And just hearing when I first started out, hearing how positive you were about me, just giving me absolute praise. I really needed it, and still giving me praise. I can't thank you enough for that.
It was nothing, Kristal. Come on, it was nothing.
It's everything, really. And boasting about my ocarina abilities, even though they're kind of garbage, but
just yeah, I can't play the Braveheart music, so
me neither.
But just and then of course, Josh, I mean, I can't put it into words how much I love you. I mean, I said yes, I'm wearing the ring.
It says everything.
I think that says enough. But seriously, and thanks to every single one of you for introducing me into this, giving me this platform, so that way, I can. It's really helped me with my self-esteem and my, I guess, social anxiety. I don't know how to put it. Just with my confidence, because it's really helped.
I'll admit there are times like when you're on the podcast, you always worry. Like you say with me a couple of times, and I'm sorry for putting you on the spot with this, but there are times that you feel like a little unsure, like of when to interject.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys ever see like when we're on camera, we're almost like they're just like, come on, join in on the japes, And
it's still something that I'm figuring out, like how to talk, I guess. But
well, that's why sometimes we'll come in with a prompt or something too, like because it does help. I mean, I've had that happen with me too.
Yeah, but it's just thinking about when I was preparing to go into the animation podcast that first time, I was literally in tears. I was so scared. I was so incredibly scared to coming to this point where I feel like I'm the most open I've ever been in my entire life.
And I remember, like, originally it was just going to be you, and I ended up coming on that podcast. But like you were just so frightened. I told you, you're going to be fine. You've got this.
But thank you guys for helping.
Of course.
Break down the walls, the fourth
all
walls.
Okay, Josh.
Okay.
Just like beat that, Josh.
I'll start going from like counterclockwise. I can start with the lady sitting next to me. I love you, bitch. I'm never gonna stop loving you. And I literally gave you a ring. But no,
that was the best.
In all honesty, and understand this is also coming from a purely unfiltered thought, because I've gone through half of these charities. They are strong.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say that, before I met you, I was coming off of a really bad relationship, and I was barely learning how to fall in love again, thanks to a close friend of mine. And it was through that love that I met you, and it's through you that you've kind of helped me learn to push through my own troubles and my own insecurities and my own flaws. I mean, just the fact that you didn't break up with me when I stole your headphones. I mean, that's just that honestly, I was an asshole. Why didn't you dump me earlier? Jesus fuck. But
or that time that we had plans and you just went with like a couple friends
because I
and then
couldn't verbalize.
and then you wouldn't answer my calls
I just couldn't
until
verbalize
like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you finally answer and you're like, "Oh, I'm with Diego,"
and I couldn't verbalize that stuff. And you've kind of forced me to be able to verbalize that stuff, but in a good way. I mean, in all honesty, if it wasn't for you, I would be just this stuttering wreck that just can't emotionally open up. I'm still having trouble emotionally opening up. But when I was talking to you earlier about all the stuff with the production company, there's more stuff I didn't even get into for this. I really cut it down as much as I could, but you heard all of it unfiltered. And just the fact that you actually, I didn't want you to because I knew you were busy, but the fact that you still stood by and listened to me through it all.
I mean, the fact that you stand by me through all of my family shit.
It is a lot, but no, I'm serious. You've changed me for the better.
I think you've got me beat in that sense.
But you've changed me for the better. And if it wasn't for you, I would just be completely isolated and shut off. And then we get to Michael over here. I remember when we started the podcast and I heard that you were coming on board. I just remember thinking, and I think I mentioned this in the first mental health thing, but you were kind of, in my mind, seen as a celebrity in my Facebook group just because you were so well known and you did all those reviews, all those glowing positive reviews. And I remember always being afraid to message you for feedback on stuff because, I always felt that you were so big. You were bigger than me.
You were senpai.
And then we come on with this podcast and God damn it, Kristal. Then we come to the podcast and I come to find out that you're one of the nicest, kindest souls that I've ever met. And just the fact that even through all this, you're so patient with all of us and you're able to wade through all of our insanity and our crazy bullshit. And you're still able to, just say like, hey, it's going to be okay. Or, hey, let's watch Cats. It's still good. It's just, you have no idea how much of a breath of fresh air it is to encounter somebody that's so overwhelmingly positive.
And negative people.
Exactly. If
you're like the reason why Renegade, that attitude, I mean, that's the very backbone of Renegade pop culture.
You and Keona, I call of the site. It's both of your guys' philosophies that go into it that keep us afloat. And just the fact that you were so welcoming on the podcast, it just made me think, okay, I don't have to fear. He's one of us. That's awesome. And you know what? I'm on board with this. And that brings me to Keona. I remember in the early days of the He Who Shall Not Be Named group of a very famous writer who is not so famous now for all the wrong reasons, like in a good way. Like, yeah, he should not be talked about in a good light anymore. But I remember you had a profile photo of Amy Acker, and I remember you were talking with me, and I stupidly thought, oh, hey, female on the internet. Yo, and then
You thought I was okay.
And then I found out you were you, and I was like, you know what? I found a brother on here.
You're like, you know what? Okay. That's okay. We'll keep him on the friends list. It's okay.
When I met him, it was Cora.
But I remember just
my female characters. I think I just want to date them. I don't know.
I remember talking with you about so many things and telling you about the movies that I did. You read my terrible very first screenplay I ever wrote that was a black and white animated noir. And
Oh, I liked that one, man. What are you talking
That
about? That
sounds
was awesome.
cool.
That was
I like-
awesome.
and I could rewrite it so much better, which I guess that's what everybody says about their very first thing that they did. But
I mean, you guys have not seen my first sketchbook.
I haven't. It's amazing.
It's terrible. It's garbage. It's garbage.
But
Oh, Jim Lee posted like one of his first things that he ever drew, and it was like, like when he was 16 and stuff, and it just, yeah, I mean, it's amazing how much he improved. So it's like, it happens,
And
that's just how it goes.
And just the fact that I'm able to share all this stuff with you. I mean, we have been friends since 2013.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
That I remember that because that was right around the time that that filmmaker in particular did an adaptation of Much Ado About Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was your profile picture, Amy Acker in that movie.
As
And
Beatrice, yeah.
as Beatrice, and just the fact that we're still talking to this day, and we're still as close today in the year 2021 as we were in 2013.
I mean, it's even been longer than that, I think.
A little bit longer, yeah.
A little longer, actually. Maybe like a couple years longer. Because I
And
remember, yeah, that was...
Still talking, we're still this close, and you brought me onto this amazing venture. And on top of that, I still bounce stuff off of you, and just the fact that you trust me enough to talk with me about anything that's going on in your head, just any issues, and that you trust me enough to help you through this stuff, even if it gets a little ugly sometimes, which is understandable. We have our off days.
We have our moments.
We've never once fought with each other.
No.
And that, I find that absolutely beautiful. And then there's Jacob. So I'll admit, I remember at first I was a little bit apprehensive just because I didn't know Jacob. I had heard of Michael, and I of course I knew Keona and Kristal, and yeah, but Jacob, you were initially the outsider. I was like, I don't know. But then literally the second you started talking, I was like, okay, never mind. I'm an asshole. I
No, you're not, Josh.
literally just everything that Kristal said, your endearing positivity, you and Michael, as well as Keona's ambition for the site, all of you guys put together help make this as magical as it can. And Jacob, just your endearing enthusiasm for everything movie related, as well as the fact that you always go out of your way to make Kristal feel included. All of you do, really.
Yeah.
But Jacob especially, just how forward you are with Kristal, how happy you are whenever she's on board. You have no idea how much that makes me feel happy, because I'll admit, I remember in that very first recording when you were talking with me about the Doom guy and Mayo and everything, I was just thinking, oh no, they're going to cut this out. They're going to cut this out. And to hear you guys after the recording, like, oh my God, she's amazing. And then hearing Jacob's overwhelming response to Kristal, I was just like, oh my God, you guys really know how to make her feel at home. And it warms my heart, Jacob, that you see a little bit of what I see in Kristal. And not only that, but just the fact that you're always willing to help out everybody with everything that they're doing, with Keona, with the marquee, with Michael, just with everything, and with me in looking over my videos. The fact that you looked over the Ready Player One video.
Oh, yeah.
That's still my favorite video that I've done, with the War of the Worlds at second. The
Cool.
Kevin Smith one's probably going to top that one. But just
And
you're so
okay, and are you gonna need me to look over any other future scripts?
I may need you to look over my, you know what, I'm going to say it, but I'm not going to say like what it's for, but I've hinted at it. I may need you to look over the Blue Beetle script that I have, as well as potentially the Fleabag script that I have in mind. And especially when I finally get the words down for it, the script about the production. But seriously, man, you're a jack of all trades, and just, I can't thank you enough for just being so warm to everybody, and especially to the woman.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I only helped Kristal out because I think she's been through the hardest out of all of us.
Eh.
Yep.
It's been rough, but
She's like, I'm not that woman though. That
You two are the cutest goddamn couple in the world. You know that, right?
thank you. But
You
yeah,
two, you just yeah.
no, I was just gonna say I'm not Allison Botha. Seriously.
Oh, oh,
Everybody go check her out.
God
Just
bless her.
Go
Yeah,
check out her book.
yeah, yeah. All right, Mike. I think that's about it, man.
Real quick.
All right.
What were you gonna say?
Oh yeah, real quick.
Yeah, you had something else?
Oh, well, maybe we'll save it for next time. Maybe we'll
All
save
right.
it for next time.
Next time it is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we wrap it up here, Jacob, where can everyone find you online?
You can find me on Facebook and Twitter under Jacob Krehbiel, Krehbiel. I also have my own letterboxed account as Streamin' Demon, and I'm also part of the Renegade Pop Culture Facebook group.
And Kristal?
You can find me on Twitter under simply_ragu816. And you can also find me on Facebook under my name, Kristal Gillum, and at the Renegade Pop Culture group. And I guess you can find me on TikTok. It's the same tag as simply_ragu816.
I'm so glad that you actually fell in love with the Batman Beyond intro, by the way.
I watched that TikTok video.
Because I was like, that was one of my favorite intros.
Seriously, I remember watching it the first time and I'm like, oh, this is so cheesy. It's like almost bad. Like Josh and I were just listening to it, like that's so much cringe. But then we watched
The
it.
original Batman intro is still better, in my opinion.
You see,
Well, of course, nothing can beat that.
I love the Batman Beyond intro. You guys.
nothing can beat that, but still the coolness of the Batman Beyond. I mean, come
Yes.
on. I get chills every time.
Yeah, me too. Every time they hit that end note and and the wings and stuff, I'm just like,
Yes.
oh my God.
So cool.
It's metal. I'm gonna do the Robert Meyer Burnett thing and just be like, it's metal, yeah. It's metal.
Hell yeah. Josh, where can everyone find you online?
Okay. Long one. Here we go. That hurt.
Sorry.
No, it didn't hurt. I just wanted to make you feel bad. But love you. You can find me at Twitter at JSH Lozano, where you will routinely find me antagonizing my friend Kat, or you can find me just in general posting dumb shit. Like I literally just posted a response like during a lull, real quick, where there was like a silence, and there was a tweet from what's his name, Comic Tropes on YouTube. He said, "What superhero could you defeat and how?" I saw my buddy Matt Draper quote, "Professor X. I just push him down some stairs." And I posted Daredevil. I mean, he's blind. I can see. Checkmate, Stanley. You can find me on YouTube at JoshBoy64. You can binge all my videos from my Age of Ultron video, which I will keep that up despite the actions of said filmmaker, because I'm not about to let him poison a video that I am incredibly proud of.
That was a really good scene too. Like, I don't think anybody could really take that away from it.
Like,
Of course
even
not.
parts of my video's narrative don't age well at all, especially that quote from that one filmmaker about Ultron and his behavior. Oh, Jesus Christ. But you can watch that. You can watch my Game of Thrones video, even though I admit I kind of regret wading into that controversy. My Ready Player One video that I'm really proud of. My Last of Us videos that one I'm proud of and one I kind of wish I didn't do so soon. And also that I did the thumbnails for just that you did the thumbnails.
Love the thumbnails.
And my
Love the videos.
All in anticipation for my Kevin Smith video, which, like I said, I've got 15 minutes edited, but I shared the first like 5 minutes with everybody.
Showed me the first 5 minutes, and I was like, I didn't want it to stop. It ended on a cliffhanger.
You guys are not ready for how good this video is going to come out. Like, I swear. I give positivity to Jersey Girl. And you can find me on Facebook at Joshua Lozano. Nothing much on there just because I don't really go on Facebook that much. And you can find me at Instagram at Joshua Lozano 98.
All right, Keona.
All right, guys, you can find me on, of course, renegadepopculture.com. That's where we have all of our show notes, all of our episodes, articles, basically anything that you want about RPC, it's all on there. Except for the about page, which I still want to fix one of these days. Oh God. But that's gonna take a lot of work. Anyway, you can find me there, and you can also find me on the Facebook and Twitter official pages for Renegade Pop Culture. That's Ren Pop Culture at Ren Pop Culture, Ren not Stimpy. And you can find us in the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/group/RPC42. Go ahead and shoot us a request and we'll let you in there. Pretty much that's it. If you guys want to add me on Steam, it's Neoplasmic24. If you guys want to add me on PlayStation, it's Neoplasmic47806. And on Xbox, just plain old Neoplasmic. So, yep.
And
Thanks,
you guys
guys.
can find me on Twitter at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterbox.com/Coach K42. Find me in all the various Facebook groups just at my name. You can check out Renegade Pop Culture, like Keona said, on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. We're also on Podchaser, so look for us
Yes,
there.
we are. Please rate us, review us, let us know what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong.
Exactly.
How's your driving?
How's our
And listen-
driving? Call 1-800-BITE-ME.
You can listen to all of our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen. And like we said earlier, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we. That'll do it for this installment of the Renegade Pop Culture Mental Health Checkup. We will catch you guys later. Peace out.
Bye, everyone.
Hey, guys.
Bye.
Later.